morning friends, thanks for joining me for another What I Eat in a Day as a vegan on Slimming World. If you're new here, my name's Leanne, I'm a vegan trying to lose weight using the Slimming World plan, and if you're coming back then thank you for doing so. Today is Tuesday, let's have a great day. Sorry about the light, but it's pretty dark because, you know, morning, and so obviously I've got all the lights on. Right, I'm going to attempt with the pumpkin puree type thing I made yesterday. I want to make some little oaty breakfasty cookie things. So this is a total experiment. So we'll just see how it goes, and I'm really kind of winging it. First things first, I'm going to put my bowl on my scales because I want to be able to measure my oats, because oats count as a healthy extra, or they have to be sinned on Slimming World. This is because oats obviously have a small fat content. So you can have 40 grams for a healthy extra B choice, or I think there's 7 sins for 40 grams. So I just want to make sure I do it in kind of 40 gram increments if I can, just to make it breaking down, you know, for these purposes a bit easier. Okay, I'm starting out with 80 grams. I think that this won't be enough, but we will see, because I'm going to use all of my pumpkin puree. Now, the amount of pumpkin puree I have here, I made this yesterday. It's literally just chopped pumpkin into cubes and then boiled it. I didn't really know what to do with it. I wasn't sure if you could roast it, but I've since looked it up online, and yes, you can roast it. Anyway, so it's been in the fridge overnight, so it has actually solidified quite a lot, which is good. And it looks a bit darker than it did yesterday, although it was sat next to butternut squash yesterday, which obviously is very orange in colour. So I'm going to chuck this whole thing in. Obviously pumpkin is a vegetable, so it's sin free. Okay, I'm going to get all this out and then we'll look at how much it weighed. Well, that's pretty unbelievable. It's so take off the 80, so it's 150 grams. That was good. And I literally just want to mix this up together, but before I mix it too much, I'm just going to add in some cinnamon, probably about half a teaspoon, and then about 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, and then I'm thinking a tablespoon of maple syrup. I mean, obviously when I give you these amounts for the spices, I'm totally winging it, because who has time to measure stuff? I don't want them too cinnamony, just because I have a slight acidity problem with cinnamon, but I like the flavour. So yeah, we'll go slightly heavier on the ginger because of that. So that's some cinnamon and ginger. Oh, I hope this was enough. I'll give it a good stir in a minute. Right, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, which is 2 sins for 1 tablespoon. There we go. I love maple syrup, it's so yummy. Okay, and then I'm going to mix this well together. Okay, you know what? This has actually worked out pretty perfect. I mean, this looks like the consistency I want. So, happy days. So this mixture is just 2 sins and 2 healthy extra Bs. So obviously divided by 2 will be perfect. Oh, it smells really good. It's just because of the cinnamon and ginger. That's really the appeal of this stuff, isn't it? Okay, so I'm now debating whether or not to add chocolate chips in and make it into a kind of cookie. Yeah, I'm going to. Right, these Aldi dark chocolate chips are 6 sins for 25 grams. I think 25 grams will actually be plenty, because I don't want to make these too full of sins. Do you see what I mean? Oh, and actually, it's not that much mixture now I look at it, so. Come on. I hate doing it straight like this, because then you guarantee you put too much in. There we go. Okay, cool. So, I'm going to mix those in. I was slightly debating adding a tiny bit of baking powder, but I'm not going to, because I don't think there's enough liquid in to warrant it. So I'm going to make these into little cookies. Right, I was just getting these ready, but I actually think they're too liquidy, so I'm going to add in another 40 grams of oats. And because I've added in the extra oats, which I'm not quite finished mixing in, but it's already looking a million times better, I'm going to add in another 12.5 grams of the chocolate chips, just to make this a little bit more easily divisible. Right, this is a much better consistency now. I'm much happier with this. Still quite gloopy though, but that's absolutely fine, you know. I think that's perfect now. Annoyingly, it's not quite so easily divisible now I thought about it, but that's okay. That's okay. So it's going to work out at 4 sins per portion, with this going into 3 portions. But yeah, so I think these don't change shape at all when cooked. So I'm just going to form them into like the shape I want, which is essentially a blob. Everyone loves a blob. I don't know if this is how big it's going to be. I was just playing with it while I spoke to you. I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. This was with minimal tweaking to get my 12 little cookie things. So I'm going to stick them in the oven and see what happens. I'm just starting my day with a cup of ginseng matcha green tea in my little for fox's sake cup. And that's it for now, and some water, of course. For my sort of breakfast, I'm having a coffee. It's now just about 10 o'clock. So I'm having my first coffee of the day, which is just 100 mils of Alpro Almond Barista. And that's 1 sin. And then this I made yesterday. This is like a tofu veggie thing. So if you watched yesterday's video, I told you about it then. I didn't actually film me making it, stupidly. So it's fry light, red onion, orange pepper, mushrooms, spinach, garlic, red chilli, salt and garlic pepper, and then whizzed up silken tofu, like poured over it, mixed all together. In the whole thing, there was 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, which is 2 sins. Obviously this is 1/4, so it's a half a sin. And then I just topped it obviously with some tomatoes and baked it. So it's not that, like it's somewhat firm, but somewhat not. So I'm just going to heat this up in the microwave because it's very, very cold. And I will have that for my breakfast. That's half a sin. I think 1 minute was too long for it to go in the microwave because it's, oh, you can't see the steam now, but yeah, it feels very, very warm. So I think I'll leave that a moment before I eat it. It must be said that although I don't have the texture quite right on these yet because they do fall apart really easily, it tastes gorgeous. So very, very nice. Feeling pretty proud of myself. Do you guys remember those pumpkin spice oatmeal things I made earlier? So I'm gonna try them now. The kitchen has been smelling amazing all morning. I'm pretty pleased with them. Here they are in all their glory. Yeah, okay, they don't look that different, but you can see they've browned slightly on top. So I put them in on, and now I looked and it was $1.90 and they're on the top shelf, and I put them in for, it would have been about 13 minutes. So they've been cooling on the side, and oh, as soon as they came out, I did just twizzle them all just to make sure they weren't stuck, but in fairness, they weren't. So there we go. So this is a close-up. Oh, got a nice little crispy bottom. Everyone loves a crispy bottom. Better than a soggy bottom. So let's break one in half. I might need both hands, hang on. Okay, I pulled it in half and there was a little bit hanging off, which I just ate. And I got to tell you, it was really good. I am very pleased with this experiment. So here we go. They are quite, oh, look at that chocolate. They're quite firm. I'm really pleased with this, it's got to be said. So, okay, so these 12 little cookies, 4 of them is a portion, and 1 portion is your healthy extra B plus 3 sins for the chocolate chips and 1/3 of 2 sins. It's essentially 1 sin. So it's 4 sins plus a healthy extra B choice.
which I think isn't bad at all. Happy days. So I'm going to portion myself 4 of these, and I'm going to package up the others, and then I'm going to probably have 2 now and 2 later, if I can hang on that long.
So it turns out I couldn't film this meal because apparently if you're on a Zoom video conference, you can't actually use your video camera at the same time, just the still one. So I'm so sorry, this is just a still picture. Luckily, it was nothing too exciting. So lunch was just 2 jacket potatoes. Yes, I did have 2. One was big, one was small. And I had 1 tablespoon of naturally vegan spreadable, which is 5 sins, totally worth it. And then I added 60 grams of the vegan Mexicana cheese. As you know, I'm somewhat illegally using that as my Healthy Extra A choice. So that was that. And then what else did I have? Oh, I had just some salad with it. So I had some leaves, tomato, cucumber and radish, very, very basic salad. And then I put garlic pepper and salt on top. So that was really, really tasty. And then I've not actually had anything exciting to drink since then, only water. That's why there's been nothing since then. It's actually currently about 5 o'clock and Mum will be coming over in half an hour. Today is Tuesday, and I'm sure you're all aware that I cook for Mum on Tuesdays. We sit down and we watch a couple of episodes of Once Upon a Time, which I introduced her to, and we've worked our way through the whole load so far, and we're on series 5 at the moment. It's lasted just a while. So that's really good, and she absolutely is addicted to it. We haven't done it for like a week because of events transpiring over the weekend. She's been very, very busy. So she's going to need a nice chilled tonight. So we're going to have a lovely chilled evening. However, I haven't actually thought about what I'm going to make for dinner. Big mistake. So I have just decided.
So I decided to go with peppermint risotto just because it's something that I've got everything in for. I've just realised I haven't put an onion out. I was trying to be so good and show you everything I was going to use in one go. Anyway, here is the seasoning I'm using. I'm using one of my JD seasonings kits. Not quite sure why it's got 1 chilli on there. It should have none, surely. The ingredients in this one are basically a load of herbs. I notice there's no garlic. I think I'll add some garlic in. And then I like these because they always give you a recipe. So got my pot, got my rice. I've got an onion, I've got fry light, veg stock, 2 of them to make up a litre, peas, obviously no cheese, but I'll just use some nooch if we want some. You'll notice some extra things. I'm adding in a courgette and all this spinach because there's no speed in it, so that's quite important. I may add some green beans as well, but I'm not sure, probably not, probably just this. And then I'm going to do some tofu in the air fryer as well, because otherwise there's not, I mean, I know petit pois are protein, but they're not like a protein source, and I think that will just make it. So yeah, there we go. Coated my tofu in 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. So this is 4 sins for the lot. And then we'll just obviously assume we're going to have half each. And if we don't, then we'll work out the rest. But that's just going to be air fried. Right, so I've had my onion and garlic sauteing, and this is the peat and mint risotto mix. Can't really see it because it's dusty. And then I haven't actually looked at the recipe, but I mean it's risotto, so right, I've totally ruined the pack. So blah blah blah, add the rice and the full pot. Cool, so let's do that. Okay, so it's mostly mint, the seasoning mix, and it does smell really, really nice. Slightly concerned about stuff starting to stick, but that's okay because it'll get resolved momentarily. So it was 300 grams of risotto rice, and then it's going to be a litre of stock in total. Obviously my jug's only 500 mils. I put both stock cubes in there for now, but obviously I'll need another jug. And then we just risotto it. Oh, and I should add in my courgette. Here is the finished product. I have to say it's looking delicious. And the tofu, oh my god, it's incredible. Smoked tofu with nutritional yeast is clearly the way forward. It's so crispy and so tasty. yeah, it's really good. We've got some risotto left, so if we want some more afterwards, we'll have it, and if not, I'll have it for lunch tomorrow. So it tastes nice when we did taste testing to see if the rice was done, so that's good.
It's time for my crazy person look because I'm leaning down. Okay, I feel like I haven't showed you half the stuff I've eaten today. So we had our risotto for dinner. That was really, really nice. The tofu, I used 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast in total, which was 4 sins, and obviously we had half each, so that was 2 sins. But then on the risotto itself, it was quite nice, by the way, perfectly pleasant risotto. It was just, it definitely needed the extra veg that I added in. And to be honest, in future I would actually add even more different types of veg in there, just to keep it interesting, because otherwise, you know, risottos can get a bit monotonous sometimes. I would also add fresh mint in if I had any. But it was very, very nice. Once we added some more salt, because I hadn't added any salt in because of the stock cubes, because I thought that would be plenty, but I was wrong. So we added some salt on top, and then I had another 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I don't know how much Mum had, doesn't really matter. So my whole dinner came out of 4 sins, so I'm absolutely happy with that. And then I don't know if I told you I had a cup of coffee this afternoon. It wasn't my like latte thing, it was just a regular cup of coffee. So that was another 1 sin for the 100 mils of Alpro Almond Barista Milk. And then after dinner, I had a cup of after dinner tea, which is the same as this one. And then I'm having another one now, obviously. But the other thing I had after dinner, which I meant to film and I remember thinking it and then just didn't, was one of the Alpro like high protein yogurts, you know, where it's like the Greek yogurt over the fruity layer. So I had one of my strawberry raspberry ones of those. That's 1.5 sins. So that left me with 8.5 sins left for the day. And so for my little treat tonight, I'm having 1 chocolate truffle. This one here. This is from my Tesco Finest little box of chocolates. Obviously vegan chocolates, and they are free from truffles. So this one is a chocolate orange truffle. So that's 3 sins. And then I'm having a bunny comb bar by Move Free because it's only 5.5 sins. And I feel like that's the most bang for my buck, to be quite honest. So I'm having these 2, having my cup of tea. After that, I will be having a cup of nighttime tea by Pucker as well. And that's it. So it's already like 9:15. So yeah, that'll do me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel like I've been really bad at filming today, so I do apologise. But it's been totally on plan day of eating again, as always. At the moment, shouldn't tempt fate. I got some risotto left over, so enough for a small portion, so I'll probably have that for lunch tomorrow or the next day. I cooked extra jacket potatoes today as well, so I've got 2 jacket potatoes as well for another day, so that's nice. And I've still got some roasted pumpkin and butternut squash, so, oh, and also some more of these little pumpkin oat cookies. Obviously I made 12 with the intention being that it would be portions of 4 based on Healthy Extra B, but then Mum ate one. So, you know, I gave it to her because I wanted her to try it and she said it was really, really nice. And she said, oh, they're so filling. I'm full up after eating one. I shouldn't have had it before dinner. And I'm thinking, they're only like this big. So, but I mean, yeah, when you eat 4, they're definitely substantial. I can't say as I'd be full on 1. Anywho, right, this is a very strange angle. There we go. Now I just look like a spooky person because I have my underlighting on at night. So anyway, yeah, it's apparently 20 to 10, a little bit later than I thought. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. There's really nothing else to say. Like I said, I'll have a cup of nighttime tea after I've had all of this stuff. Do a change at 11 o'clock for work and then bed for me. And then we'll get on it all again tomorrow. I promise I'll try and do a bit better tomorrow. I don't have so many meetings or anything tomorrow, so it won't be quite as hectic feeling. And because I've got some food prepared, it'll be a little bit nicer. So, see you then. And also good morning if you're watching me tomorrow morning. Bye guys.